What is up? Quick little short live video right here. Just doing filter change out on some of the units we service. Got some Aeon units just kicking back, you know, so for some medical buildings. And it's just, these are just awesome. Just definitely quieter than a Goodman. Even if I open the panel to the compressor compartment, it's still going to be quieter than a Goodman. What it is doing there, of course, is loading and unloading the compressor duty cycle. Oh wow, people are just jumping right in. Oh no, not mushy beans. I kind of like to take those Goodman heat pumps at my house and Frankenstein them even more by putting in maybe some variable capacity compressors. Maybe not really like the unloading scroll, which is what this is. This is a 3 scroll. It has the suction gas discharge, but then it also has another gas discharge on top that goes through the solenoid valve here. One of these other units might be a little easier to show you. It's got, this one's a little more out in the open. Suction, discharge, and then you have your discharge that goes through the unloading port. And this, I believe it's, you know, it's a scroll pump, so I think where it discharges doesn't really leave it 100%, but down to a certain percentage. And it unloads quite a bit when the solenoid valve opens and lets the hot gas go right back to the suction. There's no liquid injection or anything like that right there, so seems to be okay. And those are controlled by the controllers that Aeon uses. In this case, just right out of the main control board there. Digital compressor, the interface and everything is built into this board. They call that digital compressor. And it has a just an output. Some of the units will have a separate board, like daughter board, that it communicates to, and it will cycle that. Aeon units are pretty badass, but I wouldn't probably use one of these compressors. They're not the quietest. They're not made for residential at all. They're made for this specific application. This is a 54,000 BTU, so it'd be like a 6-ton compressor, but it drops way down when it unloads. But when it unloads, the amps drop like to the floor, and the pressure equalizes a lot. And what it is, it's just a duty cycle on and off every couple seconds to drop the average current, and yeah, you know, keep and adjust the pressure that way for when you don't need 100% capacity, just so the supply air temperature, which is what everything modulates by, you know, can be maintained. So it's a vent relative humidity mode. So the space temperature 66.7. That's probably set point's probably right there. Space humidity 49%, so obviously it wants a little less humidity, so it's in dehumidification mode. Supply air temperature is neutral at 65 degrees, so it's not trying to cool right now, it's just removing humidity. Oh, the outside air temp 62 degrees. Yeah, I'm not wearing a jacket at all right now. Humidity's not hooked up, so this is what it does, and it's just humming along happy. Variable speed, you know, indoor fan, of course, and outdoor fan. Trucking along, keeping the humidity in check while they do some surgeries down below. The units are awesome, but what I would like to put in my Goodman unit, probably, or maybe I could find a deal on one, because I already have, I think, some spare VFDs like these that work. Maybe put in a rotary compressor, because you could slow those down pretty low, like 15% or something. I don't think there's a big oiling issue on rotaries. It'd be pretty interesting. It'd be like a trial and error thing, because you could screw up. Like, say if you run it on a low speed, like a lot, there is a chance on some systems that you get oil trapped up out in the evaporator and it doesn't come back, and then the compressor dies. So you something you might want to implement, which is something like LG units do, like those awesome units do, is they have a cycle, an oil return cycle, and it just cranks open the TXVs, which are electronic actually, electronic expansion valve, and speeds up the compressor and just tries to run a bunch of refrigerant through the lines to sweep the oil back to the compressor. And so that's pretty interesting. So who knows, might be something like that. If I could get my hands on some compressors for a couple $100 or something, it might be worth doing just for the heck of it. Other than that, I still don't actually know what I would replace my units with, because if I had to pay for all the equipment new, I don't know if I'd want to put in just a central air, as it's called. I might want to do something like this, where you get, you know, a couple of these. Usually don't see these on residential, but you could easily use these right here, multi-V mini. And this is probably a 3-ton unit. They go up to about 4 tons on these. This one is a 4-ton. This one only has 1 air handler on it, but you could put 2, 3, 4 air handlers. I could put my whole upstairs on one of these. There's 5 bedrooms upstairs in my house. So I could put 1 air handler in each bedroom and tie it all to this sucker. And this sucker would just ramp up to match the load of how many air handlers are on. Very efficient. VRF multimeter. I don't know that. The comments. Oops. I'm trying to keep them on my screen. The VRF for VFD. I noticed that I don't have my tools up here because I'm just doing filters, but my amp probe has a setting for reading after the VFDs to get a little more of an accurate reading. So it kind of works, but generally you can get it on without it. How do you get the comments back up? There it is. So loud we can't hear you. No, I'm standing right next to this thing. It's a pretty good sized compressor. But of course, you know, Aeon, you know, I mean, this is a league of its own compared to Goodman. These panels, all right, are boxed. They're foam filled. They have rubber seals. I mean, all the refrigerant lines, you know, they put isolator mounts on them. I'll have to go to the other one to show you a little bit of that. Just so much better quality than anything Goodman has ever released or ever had in their wildest dreams from their engineers. Just it doesn't even hold a candle, you know. And servicing these, I know some people are afraid of Aeons, but servicing these are just pretty nice. And like I was saying, look at this. You know, they put rubber in between where they think them could rub. They put these mounts around the pipes. They wrap their wires with this. I mean, come on, there's just so much you could just, it's endless amount of awesomeness in a unit like this that you're never going to see in a piece of shite Goodman. You know, blower is hidden behind here. There's instructions. It all comes out as one piece, direct drive, no belt. You can pull it out. First, you know, incline blower wheel. So of course, if you take that cover off, you lose your pressure, so you'll get no airflow, you know, out of the unit. And these have like this little plug you unplug, and this air from the supply blows into this compartment, pressurizes this compartment slightly positive, which is good, right? And then it pushes it through that compartment, which then continues to cool this compartment, and then it blows it out up there into the condenser fan section, which will pull even a little more airflow once those fans start. Then it moves a little more air through here. Electric heat strips are down here. This one just has contactors, but if you go to like the ones where they have the heat dehumidification mode and everything, they have the solid state, which is running right now. So look, the heat is on. That's why it's making a neutral supply air temperature. It's running the compressor, and it's using the reheat coil probably, and it's got the heaters on, and it's just maintaining a steady supply air output. It's not dropping temperature, but it's dropping humidity, removing grains of humidity. We need that today because notice it's actually raining. It's been raining on and off, so humidity, I don't know what it is. It's probably 50-60% or maybe way higher. I haven't even looked yet. Actually, this unit here doesn't have the reheat coil. It just uses electric heat strip for it. So that's why the heater is on. A lot of other jobs where I have Aeons, they have the reheat coil. Don't have the electric heat strips. So, but I mean, hinged access panels. Oops. It's supposed to be easy. Hinged, you know. Come on. Who wouldn't like working on these? They have the coils people talk crap about called microchannel. You can see right through them almost. Get lined up with them. Feel a little weak. And you got a couple noisy ass carriers over there. Those things are pretty noisy when they run. There's a compressor over there. That's not our building. We take care of it. I've been waiting for one of those compressors to die for a while now, and it hasn't. Anyway, so I'm just making sure these are all running in the correct mode before I leave here. So I thought while I did that, I would just do a little bit of show and tell and put a nice little Goodman rip in there today. I guess a couple times I slacked at putting some Goodman bashing in a couple of my videos, and people reminded me about it later in the comment section. So I told them I would make up for it later. That's now. So yeah, two of the best systems, I think. Those Aeon units over there, which could be configured in all sorts of different ways, you know, for like surgery rooms where you have to dehumidify everything. They have, by the way, 12-inch filters in the supply underneath. You know, or for server rooms, which we use them on, makeup air units, you know, you get the big ones, all sorts of stuff. And then these units are just so efficient. And when they're quiet, I mean, I don't think any of them is actually running right now, but I do have to walk by them sometimes to tell if they kicked on, because when these first kick on, they're quiet. They are so quiet. They sound about the same running as when they're not running. So too bad when none of them are kicked on right now, but it's a deal. They're just awesome. So yeah, I would like to have one of those OGs perhaps, but you know, I might piecemeal something together for fun later on. We'll have to see. Yeah. So, got some other expenses that coming up this year, so who knows, might have to just keep those Goodmans running. So then we'll catch you guys later. See how to stop. I haven't used this app for live video before, so